For as few levels as it had, Shadows of the Empire had some pretty diverse level design and gameplay elements. From vehicular combat over land and in space to on-foot missions, this game was a great feat, especially as an early N64 title. With that though, comes some varying quality. Now my subjective opinions of this game are of course my own, but I would love to hear what your thoughts are and your favorite levels, so by all means leave those in the comments. While I don't think any level in Shadows of the Empire is outright bad, Mos Eisley and Beggar's Canyon gets the bottom spot for me. The swoop bike doesn't really work for its intended purpose of speed and action. The faster you go, the faster the enemies go based on a rubber banding system. This will actually work completely against you and cause you to fail the mission. While you are attempting to beat this swoop gang to Luke's home, you actually have to take them all out. And that is best done at a snail's pace. If you go slow, so do the enemies. And that ends up making it the best strategy. To me, that defeats the purpose of having such a fast vehicle. Combine that with the repetitive, minimalistic structures, and you get an example of what could have been. I will say playing this level on Jedi difficulty changes it to a nighttime setting that is a neat touch, even if it doesn't change any of my other criticisms. Next at number 9 is the Imperial Freighter Suprosa. Not a bad level by any means, but it always felt like more of a Dark Forces level to me. I sincerely appreciate just how lived in it feels as a Star Wars set piece. With the Stormtrooper barracks and being able to see out into space, its quantity of droids and turrets mixed with the trap-like nature of their placements could make this level somewhat frustrating on your first try. Dash's auto-aim usually does well enough, but there are so many droids and turrets here that they are small targets in close quarters. On the higher difficulties, they get the drop on you pretty easily and can mow through your lives. It also drove me crazy as a kid that the level select thumbnail had Dash wearing the jetpack, but you didn't actually get to have it. When you consider the multi-story door puzzle in the final sequence, it was pretty evident that they had to ditch the jetpack after the fact. At number 8 is the Asteroid Field, by far the easiest level in the game. I have always enjoyed the hard-hitting sounds of the Star Destroyer at the beginning, the sights and sounds of the TIE fighters flying by, the explosions, and the perfectly selected excerpt from the Empire Strikes Back score. Even if you were just spinning in a circle, picking off the same ships over and over, looking out for the challenge points can keep you on your toes, and the soundtrack keeps it from ever feeling too dull. Most importantly for me, it does not overstay its welcome. For the most part, the level takes as long as you make it, and then you will be on your way. Number 7 is where I draw a line with the levels going from just okay to pretty good. This spot goes to the other space combat level with the Skyhook Battle. The opening segment is a palette swap of the asteroid field with different ships. As you make your way from Coruscant to Xizor Skyhook, you battle his Viper fighters and bombers in the same pattern you did the TIE fighters before, even with a recycled soundtrack. So a somewhat disappointing rehash of a previous level, but it gives way to an epic clash between the Rebels, Black Sun, and the Empire. The score here is great, and the endless quantity of ships constantly doing battle around you set up an awesome scene that helps end the game on a mostly high note. The turrets with regenerating health are a bother, especially on the 2 hardest difficulties, and I'm not sure I can justify there being 4 of them. But overall, I thoroughly enjoy the intensity of all the fighting going on around you, and the option to get lost in that at any point and for however long you want. Coming in at number 6 is Ord Mantell Junkyard. This level is a difficulty spike this game needed after the Asteroid Field. This level throws so much at you with combat against many new and varied enemy types and constant platforming with some traps thrown in. You could be jumping from train to train while one is sinking or being detached. You also have to be conscious of sudden turns or height variations between 2 trains. This is another good example of lived-in Star Wars material as you see the wreckages of things like an AT-AT walker or an Imperial landing craft passing by. I do wish there was a way to speed this level up a bit at times, but it is capped off by my favorite boss battle in the game with IG-88. This battle will have you running for your life at times, waiting for that ominous drone sound that plays when he stops moving. For me, it is usually pretty satisfying when you get your shots in and keep things moving. This is also one of the few boss battles that doesn't have you hiding behind them 90% of the time. Number 5 for me is Gall Spaceport, a massive, lengthy level that does an excellent job of world building. The towering cliff sides and the Imperial base make this a fun, believable environment to revisit, even if it probably should have been split up into multiple levels. Our first playthroughs of this one probably took most of us a hot minute to get through and cost several lives as well. This is also the level where I thought finding all the challenge points was the most satisfying since there are so many of them. The music, again from The Empire Strikes Back, is an excellent choice. You navigate through massive infrastructure and go hangar to hangar using the jetpack and other means, all in the pursuit of a battle with the one and only Boba Fett. This fight is a lot of fun, but the Slave 1 fight afterward is a dud, and you can stay just about completely out of range and just chip away at it from behind just like the ATSTs before. Number 4 is the Battle of Hoth. This is the level that inspired the original Rogue Squadron game, so I would argue we have a lot to be grateful for here. The look of the landscape hasn't aged very well, but I think it functions pretty well for being such an early N64 title. The speed and accessibility of this level made it plenty of fun to revisit, which can't be understated for the first level in any game. The speeder handles really well and is plenty capable, and the score accompanies this level really well too. The forceful sound effects and explosions when you get hit gives tangible feedback, and that helps immerse you in the experience. Rogue Squadron arguably does most of those things better, but I think the aggressive sound design of the whole level is better in some ways with all the constant turret fire and explosions. Now these top 3 to round it out are all in a class of their own for me. Number 3 is Sewers of Imperial City. This level has a tremendous atmosphere, score, and overall aesthetic to it that are all so cohesive. While it's ultimately pretty linear, I think the set pieces make this one feel like you are somewhat lost and just hoping to make it through the end by sheer luck. It is devious with some of its enemy placement, but at this late in the game that should probably be the case. The contrast of the red armor-clad Coruscant Guard against the murky surroundings has always been a neat touch to me, and the sound of the Dianogas add a lot to the level the few times you encounter them. Thankfully, it also has a really cool and unique boss battle to accompany it. It is a fun combination of challenging and intimidating upon first encountering it, but also very straightforward once you get your bearings. At number 2, it is Escape from Echo Base. While it is just the second level in the game, it is one of the most memorable. It introduces you to the primary style of gameplay, and it has a believable setting that ties in with Empire immediately following the Battle of Hoth. It has Wampas, snowtroopers, potential Wilhelm screams, and an ATST battle that is unfortunately a bit underwhelming once you realize you can just walk behind it and underneath it. But how many of us remember this one from our childhood? It being early in the game meant it was also very accessible for those of us that were young and frankly just not very good at video games. We could blast our way through the Battle of Hoth on easy and make it to Echo Base. Getting to see the Millennium Falcon escape and that scripted event of the ice breaking apart to create this giant chasm, all of these things combined made for a great experience both then and now. Number 1 for me will always be Xizor's Palace. The dark blacks and grays contrasted against reds and purples, the huge swaths of enemies that are waiting for you in almost every room, and it has the absolute best soundtrack of the entire game. This level is one of my favorite N64 levels of all time, and I think it's the best Shadows of the Empire had to offer as well. Leading in directly from the sewers, this sprawling tower has so much variety with its enemies, obstacles, verticality, you name it. In its 3-phase battle, the boss manages to be one of the better, but also the absolute worst in the game. This level was something that took me a long time to reach as a kid, and I think it is one of the better late game payoffs of any shooter on the N64. Now that you know what I think, I would love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments what your favorite levels were and why. I appreciate you all for watching, and I will catch you all next time.